Our next learning objective is to prepare a trial balance and then use the trial balance to prepare the financial statements, which of course are the income statement, the statement of owner's equity, and the balance sheet, just like we did in Chapter 1. However, this time, where do we get the account balances for these financial statements and the trial balance? We get them from the ledger. So we're going to use this ledger to create our financial statements. But the ledger contains a lot of detail, like the increases in cash and decreases in cash. We don't need to know all that stuff. We just need to know the balances. So what do accountants use to summarize the balances of all accounts? It's the trial balance. So we've already had these slides before, but let's review them really quick. What a trial balance is it's just a listing of all the accounts as long as those accounts have a balance. So if there's an account that has a zero balance, you would leave it off the trial balance. So all the trial balance is a list of all accounts that have a balance, and then you list their balances either in the debit column or the credit column as seen here on this trial balance. Now remember, the trial balance is not a financial statement. It's just a list of all their accounts that have a balance and their balances. A lot of students, though, confuse it with a balance sheet. The trial balance is not a balance sheet. Remember, the balance sheet only shows that assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity. So the balance sheet does not include revenues, expenses, or draws, but the trial balance will show all of the accounts, including revenues, expenses, and draws. So make sure you have this printout from Canvas, and we're going to create a trial balance for Angel's Delivery Service at the end of May in 2029. So the trial balance, just like the financial statements, it has a three-line heading. So do you remember what the first part of the three-line heading is? It's always the name of the company. And remember, the name of the company is Angel's Delivery Service. So what's the second line? The second line is the name of whatever piece of paper we're looking at. In this case, it's the trial balance. And then the third line, do you remember what goes on that? It is, here's my hint, it's related to some type of dates. It's either a single day or a period of time. Now, since this is the trial balance, anything with the balance in the title, like the balance sheet or a trial balance, it has to be of a single day. So the instructions said to make it for the end of May 2029. So you do need to know the months of the May, or the days of each month, which you can easily find on your computer calendar or your phone calendar. So May has 31 days. All right. But then notice we have two columns. And remember, the trial balance is just a list of all the accounts and their balances. So each account is going to either have a debit balance, so write a DR or the whole word debit in the first column, and then write CR for credit in the next column. And then do you remember the order that accounts appear on a trial balance? It's the same order that's found on the chart of accounts, which is assets, and then liabilities, and then owner's equity, and then revenue, and expenses are always last. So let's look at our chart of accounts, and then we're just going to list the accounts in the order from the chart of accounts. So we've got cash. Next we've got accounts receivable. Next, we've got office equipment, so make sure you're writing these down. If I go too fast, you need to pause the video. Delivery truck, and that's all of our assets. And then if you're wondering what order the assets go in, it's order of liquidity. Whatever is cash goes on the top, and whatever is the slowest to turn into cash is last, like the truck. They're probably not going to sell the truck and turn it into cash anytime soon, so that's the last thing. And the accounts receivable is usually the second asset listed after cash. And the nice thing about my accounting lab is it's really easy on you guys. It usually does not enforce a certain order of accounts when you create the trial balance. All right, next we've got our liability, which is accounts payable, and then the owner's equity accounts, Alice Angel, comma capital, and then Alice Angel, comma withdrawals. That's the drawing account, of course. And then the company's revenue account was called the delivery fees earned. And then we've got the expenses. Advertising expense, gas expense, salaries expense, and telephone expense. Now notice I left the account numbers off of here, but you could leave them on if you wanted to. I just left them off to save room. All right, so now where do we get the balances, the debit and credit balances for these accounts? We need the ledger, which is in the form of the T accounts. So here's a ledger, and now we're just going to find the balance of the accounts and put them either in the debit or the credit column. So cash has 49,012. AR has 3,900. Office equipment has 2,500. Delivery truck has 25,000. Now in the homework you're going to have to create these trial balances, so I hope you're actually learning this and trying to do it along with me here and not just copy down the solution. Accounts payable. Now which column does accounts payable go in? Its plus side is the credit side. So $25,800 credit. Capital is also a credit, 40,000. Withdrawal is a debit. Only $88 of withdrawals. Delivery fees earned is a credit, 18,500. And then the expenses are all debits. 800 advertising, 750 gas, salaries 1850, and then telephone expense 400. And then the last thing we have to do is we're going to add up our debits. So 49,000 plus 3,900, 2,500, 25,000, 88, 800, 750, 1850, 400 equals 84,300. Then we add up our three credits, 25,800, 40,000, and 18,500. And then we hope and pray, especially if this is a testing situation, that they equal the debits. And they do. So remember, for the trial balance, debits must equal credits. And then traditionally we put a double underline at the very bottom to show that we're done. So in the next assignment, we're going to start creating the financial statements. And which financial statement is always created first? The income statement.